another offseason move that y'all made. And Chad, I want to get your thoughts on this first because I can't remember at all what your take was on this. But the Jamar Chase Penei Sewell debate, I was very in favor of Penei Sewell, and obviously, I mean, listen, Jamar Chase, he's a beast. I can't remember where I put him on my draft board, but I thought he was
had him at
by.
2. I think you
I
had.
think I had Penei Sewell 1. I know I had him. Maybe I had Kyle Pitts 1. Anyway, Penei Sewell was in my top 3 for sure, and I think he was above Jamar Chase on my like overall draft board. And I thought Chase was going to be a monster at receiver, but I felt like T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, you guys had some great receivers. And with the offensive line, I was just so concerned. And then even against the Titans, we see the offensive line doesn't hold up. It didn't matter because y'all won anyway. I think it was like a record 9 sacks and a playoff loss, which is absurd. Once again, shout out the defense. But Chow, how did you feel at the time about the Penei Sewell Jamar Chase debate, and then how do you feel now after seeing the rookie seasons?
Yeah, at the time I definitely questioned it just because I wasn't a big believer. He's still solid, but not a big believer in Jonah Williams when they drafted him, and then everyone else. I was like, I mean, I just felt you just saw Joe Burrow get hurt. Why would you not protect your investment with Penei Sewell? But I was okay with it because remember, I think I did say I was high on the second round pick, Jackson Carman. I'm guessing he hasn't gotten much playing time, but he's more of a raw prospect, so I understand. But
and you had Chase like number 1 on your draft board.
On my in terms of receivers, he was my favorite receiver. I just felt that you could get one later, and you already had T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. But obviously, I was wrong here. I mean, it's that your receiving core creates issues. It's kind of like Kansas City with Tyreek and Kelsey. Like, who do you double? We saw that in the first Kansas City game because T. Higgins the couple weeks before was balling out. And then so Kansas City's game plan that game was we're going to double T. Higgins. Well, guess what? That guy Jamar Chase is pretty good, and you left him one-on-one too many times, and he had a field day. And then poor Tyler Boyd is the forgotten man, but Tyler Boyd, your number 3 receiver, is pretty good, and Ozone was serviceable as well once you add that too, and then Joe Mixon as well. So it's obviously I think like many others I was wrong. I think Jamar Chase was the obvious good pick. I mean, especially. Once again, I was also down him because of preseason, had some drops. I wasn't like overly down like other people were, but yeah, obviously Jamar has been the move. And I mean, now it's obvious, okay, now you just invest in offensive linemen, maybe a few defense, but you don't have to worry about wide receiver probably for a long time.
Yeah, I think I have to eat my words on that because Alec, I'm pretty sure I texted you the moment that y'all picked him that which it wasn't that Chase was a bad pick, but I was like, Joe Burrow's going to die. Like he's going to get hurt again. Like there's no shot that he's going to stay healthy. And he has, and I would say the offensive line has played better than I've expected on the year. They're still not, amazing by any means, but they've improved. So I think I'm eating my words there because although, in the modern day NFL, a tackle is super important, a generational wide receiver like Chase, I mean, you can see what the impact he's had. How did you guys feel at the time with the pick? Because obviously you're a lot more emotionally attached to Joe Burrow and the injury and all that stuff than we are.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest. I thought Sewell was the right pick right up until we did I don't know if Jack remembers this. We did really literally right before the draft, we did an episode, and I switched to Jamar Chase. And it was because they just got rid of Bobby Hart. They were going to switch up some things on the O-line, and I thought that the offensive line depth in the last draft was a lot better than the wide receiver depth. And I was really excited when they took Jamar Chase because, I knew that, and he hasn't really panned out yet, but Jackson Carman or Creed Humphrey or somebody like that would be there in the second.
Yep.
And, there was just something about that connection with them at LSU. They had that record-breaking year. A lot of people, and we saw what Justin Jefferson did his rookie year, and people were saying that Jamar Chase was a way better prospect than Justin Jefferson was. So, I was kind of drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit.
We said that. Yeah.
We were kind of drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit on that, on those, all those pundits saying that Jamar Chase was a better prospect. And so I was happy with it. I was Sewell all off season until right before the draft, but I'm happy they took Chase.
I will just say I just pulled up the 2020 draft right now just to refresh myself. We're going to look back on that draft in a couple of years, and we're going to say we're going to be amazed with how much talent was in that draft
Yeah.
because of the way that Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell have both sort of progressed through their rookie seasons. But, I think a lot of us Bengals fans realized as we were going through the offseason and had to come to terms with the fact that we knew they were going to take Jamar Chase by a certain point in the offseason. You could almost tell that was the way they were going. And to me, it's a case study in team building because right now, while your quarterback is young, yes, you want to protect him and make sure he's got this fortress around him, sort of like the Browns built for Baker Mayfield. But I think more important than anything else to make your young quarterback confident is to give him all these toys and weapons to play with. And then once he gets older and maybe doesn't have the pocket mobility that he did when he was younger, that's when you go all in on the O-line and say, we trust you to make everybody else on the outside better, sort of like what the Packers have done with Aaron Rodgers. So, I was never vehemently against taking either player, but when you look at and Penei Sewell, as the season went on, played really well for the Lions. Yeah. But when you look back on it, I mean, it's hard to see. I think the only player, and I've said this to a couple of my friends, the only player that I would even entertain trading Jamar Chase for out of this draft today would be Micah Parsons. And that's the only guy that I would even entertain it for. But, just having an elite level playmaker, and you can debate top fives or whatever of positions, but he has been a godsend to this offense. And, looking at what the Bengals vertical passing game was last year to what it is now, it's a lot due to what Jamar Chase brings to the table.
Yeah. And I think it's weird because we always talk about how like the pass rush is able to help a poor secondary when it comes to, giving the quarterback less time. But I think even the deep threat ability of a wide receiver can scare the other team into not blitzing as many people. And so having that kind of a guy who can take the top off of a defense and they have to account for him down the field can almost help the quarterback with not having to have as much pressure throughout the game. Obviously, there's still going to be, pressure sent your way and some guys are going to be blitz heavy. But we saw that when you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow, I mean, he punished the Ravens for being so blitz heavy in both games. So